The pandemic has affected everyone, of course, but it hasn't affected everyone equally.
No, women have been disproportionately impacted by the coronavirus. They are more likely to have extensive caring responsibilities, and they are more likely to lose their jobs. Margaret Kerr is an assistant professor of human development and family studies at UW-Madison. Hi, Maggie. Good to see you.
Hi. Thanks for having me.
This is a fascinating subject, and I understand the pandemic has even coined a new phrase, she-cession. So tell us a little bit about what the particular issues are with the pandemic that are impacting women so severely.
Yeah, so there's a few issues. One of them is that women, the jobs that women are in, are more likely to be the jobs that are laid off during this time. Men are more likely to be in jobs that have flexibility that allow them to work from home. And so that's one of the things that's been happening. And the other thing that's happening is that women are more likely to voluntarily leave the job market to take care of those home responsibilities, child care, other caregiving, schooling for their kids.
Yeah, and you know, it's interesting because women really comprise a big chunk of the essential workers out there, and from healthcare workers to, you know, primary caregivers. So what issues here in terms of the workforce has the pandemic kind of exposed?
Yeah, so one thing I think in terms of what you're saying is that those jobs, then those essential working jobs, don't have that kind of flexibility that the work from home jobs might have. So if they need to take care, you know, they don't have access to daycare or someone to facilitate learning for their children, that they might be forced to leave those essential jobs because there's not an option. There's not those same supports that were in place to allow people to do their work and to have their families taken care of at the same time.
And have stay-at-home orders just exacerbated the whole situation?
I mean, absolutely, because there's just so many new responsibilities that people are having to take on. If you have small kids, even now that a lot of daycares are back in place, often those daycares end up being closed because there was an outbreak, and so someone has to quickly be flexible with their job. Or you have school-aged kids, and somebody has to be home to actually help facilitate that learning, because most kids can't do it on their own, and so somebody actually needs to be there, and that just, in most cases, ends up being women.
What do you think needs to change? I mean, we always talk about it, and it's the unfair, the pay is inequitable in this country. We've made progress, but what really needs to change here in terms of equal, you know, treatment in the labor market?
Supports from governments and supports from workplaces. So treating, you know, allowing more flexibility for family responsibilities. You know, there's research out there that says when men take time off to take care of their kids, they don't tell anybody it's about their family. They kind of hide that because it's not really allowed for men or seen in the same way for men. It's seen as a woman's thing. And so, you know, if there was more workplace support for flexibility for both men and women to take care of their children and their home responsibilities, then that would help even it out a lot.
Yeah, that's interesting. For as far as we've come, women are still bearing the majority of the child care, right? I mean, everybody's working two full-time jobs, their job and then their job at home.
And even though men are a lot more involved than they used to be, the statistics still show that I think the statistic is like women still spend on average an hour more a day than men do taking care. And that's before the pandemic. And so it's only worse now that we're in the situation that we're in.
Well, so it's certainly such an important conversation right now as we hopefully get close to a vaccine and get all the workforce back in place. A lot of things to juggle. Maggie, thank you so much. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Maggie. Great talking to you today.